That made us not to be in a position to conduct as was communicated earlier. We also have to recruit personnel, but personnel we will reuse those that have been trained before and took part in the general elections. But having said that, we still need, although there will be a reduced number, we still need to have a day or two training with them for purposes of enhancing clarity on the procedural issues so that the elections can go on seamlessly. So these were these logistic issues, insecurity issues, the death of our colleague who needed to be buried, and all these circumstances are the ones that made us not to be able to conduct the election as was earlier communicated. And we are here to give you an opportunity to respond, to ask any questions around those issues, and of course, more importantly, to have a way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO.
Good morning once again. Thank you, Chairman. I think Prof has mentioned quite a number of things in terms of preparation, but in order for us to deliver this election, one of the things we need to do is to have the kits prepared because they have already been used during the election, and therefore they have to be brought back for them to be retrofitted. And also to make sure that the SD cards we are going to use are going to be okay. Two is basically we need to now, we are going to use the schools as polling stations, and therefore we need to communicate with the Ministry of Education so that we don't interrupt classes. We want to explore the possibility of using tents probably in the playgrounds to see if we can be able to at least do the election in those specific areas. But if it's not possible, then to see if we can be able to gazette other places that we can be able to use for the purpose of election. Prof has talked about budgets. We need to hire again staff for them to do this work. You realize that the work that they did, which they were supposed to do together with these ones, we had already spent amount of money in terms of their wages and other allowances, so we need to prepare a budget. We have already prepared. I think it's just a matter of submitting the same to the National Treasury for consideration. I don't think we'll have a challenge in terms of getting approval. This is something that we've always been doing, so we expect to get approval on the same. The personnel, I think, has been already explained that we'll need to have a presiding officer, deputy presiding officers, and 3 clerks. For the purpose of this, we will not use 6 clerks, we'll use 3 clerks for the purpose of this election. And then, of course, ballot paper, they arrived on 20th and 21st. So yesterday we also received another batch. So in terms of ballot papers, we are basically ready. And I think it's just a matter of agreeing. That's why we're having this meeting. We want to thank you for showing leadership, because whenever there is crisis, we also now see importance of leaders or leadership in your respective areas. It is actually the people who are requesting you to ensure that they have their representatives, and you've taken the responsibility to calm them down and also to come and attend this meeting. So for us, we thank you very much. But also we apologize for the delay, which was beyond our control. So I think, Chairman, that's all we need for the purpose of, in terms of preparation. I want to believe that the remaining time, Chairman, I don't know whether it is Monday or Tuesday next week, but I want to believe that if we agree here today, we should be able to work on an amicable date that we can be able to agree for the purpose of the election, the by-election. Thank you very much.
Yeah, before I come to you for Q&A, we have done our consultations and proposed Monday 29th of this month as a date for the postponed elections.
Yes.
And so if it's agreeable, we move on.
Yes.
But it's now open to you for questions and any questions you may have to ask. Next Monday.
That's our internal consultation.
After internal consultations, we propose next Monday, 29th.
It's up to them too.
So I don't know that it's acceptable to everyone.
Yes. Very much. Very much.
By show of hands. By show of hands.
I don't see any hands from the crowd. Could we then have any questions outside the date? You may have other issues around the... Yes. So we can start, then we go finish this row first and come this way.
Thank you. On the issue of the date, Monday 29th, we have no problem because we are prepared to have election the 9th. Yes. So on the 9th, we don't think we have a problem with that date. However, we need to have clarity on the issue of civic education. Is this time enough for you to advertise and educate the voters that election will be in a week's time? That is one. Do you have a budget for civic education? Yes. Two, the issue we experienced in some places, especially in Kakamega, where the Kimskits failed to work and you resorted to manual voting. Do you have now mechanism, and can you agree as what will happen in case we have dysfunctional Kimskits? Can we then agree that if we go to a polling station and the Kimskit is not working at 6 a.m., by 6:30 we resort to manual because it affects voter turnout? Because the Kimskit fails at 6, you keep people waiting until 1 or 2, that's when you resort to manual voting. Can it be an agreed position that immediately we realize that the Kimskit is not working, 30 minutes from that time we resort to manual? Because that wasting of time for a decision to be made affects the turnout. And then in Kakamega specifically, we've been raising issues with our CRO, and I think we will retreat and raise that matter in our small meeting, but it's just good enough for us also to raise it here. The issue of the POs. Most of the POs in Kakamega have political affiliation, have met politicians, and the CRO has that evidence. So it is of my considered opinion that if you can give us fresh POs, those who have not been taking part in the previous elections, because we have raised that issue time and again with the CRO. The CRO has even done a follow-up on the same, and in some instances confirmed that there are some politicians who have been meeting the POs, and we have no confidence at all with the POs who have conducted elections in Kakamega specifically. I don't know other areas. So we are submitting, yeah, and Kitui Rural. Can I represent you? And Mombasa. From Kisumu, bring them to Kakamega, or POs from Wasingishu, bring them to we should reshuffle them. Not from the same region. Not from the same region, because we have an issue. Like, personally, I have no confidence at all with the POs of Kakamega, because we have evidence and we've followed that matter with the CRO and the respective ROs that they have been compromised. So if those things can be addressed. Lastly, issue of schools. In Kakamega, 90% of polling stations are schools. 85% of tallying centers, constituency tallying centers, are boarding schools. So we need to be very sure that those institutions will be available for us, and if that can be communicated in good time. And lastly, campaign period. You have inconvenienced us. Last time you said there are no campaigns. How do you inconvenience us? And again, wants to curtail us from campaigning because we need to tell our people that elections have been postponed, that come out in large numbers on this particular day. That can only be done in campaigns. So you should allow us to effect the specific article on the campaign period, which says we shall only close our campaigns 48 hours to the elections. So as it stands right now, we believe that campaigns are ongoing until 48 hours to the elections. Thank you.
Any other? If the question has already been asked, please don't repeat it. Yes.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Yes, my name is Lewis. I come from Nyaki Westward. You know the Menti constituency. I just have one concern. The Commission gazetted on the 9th August 2022 to be the official time when you'll be voting. As we have a different kind of a case whereby one of the candidates was missing in the ballot, and the voting went on at around 5:41 p.m. That's the time the commissioner was announcing that you're nullifying the voting for Nyaki Westward. My question is, having gazetted that day for voting, and then one of the candidates was missing, and 5:41 p.m., that's when the commission was gazetting. That's the time the commissioner was telling us that you don't need to vote at that particular time. And they went ahead and opened the ballot boxes, voted all the analysis in the ballot boxes was counted. The returning officer did his work, that is announcing. The tallying was took place at polling stations.
Deni kotini mutampata huko, Mungu anawagojea hata huko, na haitafaulu, haitafaulu. Mimi nataka niwaambie, mkienda kotini mkimpata, Mwenyezi Mungu anagojea huko, mrudi hapa kwenye wananchi, mtapata William Samoei Ruto anawagojea tena, na sisi tunakuwa pia tunawagojea, kwa vile tunasema ya kwamba walituambia ya kwamba wanataka kufanya ati kuhesabu kura tena. Wacheni niwaambie jameni, nikiketi. You know, the IBC was saying that they disagreed with Chebukati because they were not allowed to sit together to aggregate the votes. And what we are asking is simple, ladies and gentlemen. Is the IBC supposed to go and aggregate a vote over our vote? When we have already cast our vote and we have said the winner is one, they wanted to go and say that there is another winner who is not the winner. Sisi tunasema ya kwamba nyinyi mkienda kotini, sisi tutarudi kwa wananchi na kwa Mwenyezi Mungu. And we will be saying loudly ya kwamba sisi tulishinda kwa vile Mungu aliamua ya kwamba huu ni wakati wa hii nchi yetu kupata siku mpya, mwangaza mpya na viongozi wapya. Your Excellency, sisi tunasimama nyuma yako na tunasema liwalo liwe, we are behind you. Na watu wa hapa kwetu hakuna kubadilika, tutabadilika, tutasimama na wewe.
I want to plead with those who are yet to socialize themselves with the incoming government to please accept the will of God. Please accept the will of God, because it would not have been possible without God. And I particularly want to ask the outgoing president, our President Uhuru Kenyatta. Yes, it is true, Mr. President, you had your choice, but the people of Kenya had their choice also. We want to plead with you. Allow yourself and your system of those in government today to accept the will of God and the will of the Kenyan people, and allow the people of Kenya to move on. We are aware there are those who still have plans, because they have seen that the people of Kenya have moved on, want to begin to incite the people of Kenya. We want to plead with them, please do not begin to incite the people of Kenya. We shall respect your right to go to court and pursue your rights in court. But please, we also plead with the government in place today, do not attempt to coerce, to intimidate, or to bribe our judiciary as you attempted with IEBC. Respect the will of the Kenyan people, and God will guide you even in retirement and even as you exit the reins of leadership of our country.
The journey ahead is a very small journey, Your Excellency. The court, really, we are ready for the court. I'm sure, Your Excellency, all those other handles and barriers you have dealt with, the last battle will be in court. And I believe God is ahead of us in that battle. Thank you muno, Adwage Thogori.